Hello, everybody. We are roaming around on the way to Choctaw Nation to celebrate a powwow with the Native Americans, and that is actually my springboard for this conversation is America. What I think on it, the history that we know of it, and overall what America even means. Because back in 1492, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue. There was this Italian, I forgot his name, but he's the one who named America. So, that being said, America wasn't always named America, only to the European world, and ultimately, since they wrote history, most of the world knows it as America. When there's North America and South America, which was ultimately the New World for the entire Europeans. But the Vikings, most people know, or some people know, that they actually found America before Europe, or before, the church and, all those kingdoms actually sailed out looking for gold, glory, and God, forgetting this right there. But, before even the Vikings, came over and found, Newfoundland and all that good area in Canada, you have the Olmecs, first people we know of that lived in the heart of Africa. Actually, not in the heart of Africa, everywhere, all over Africa. But we classify them as just, one group of people as the Olmecs. And these people, they moved to Australia, they moved to, the Americas, and ultimately, that was a long time ago, at least 70,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago, was when, everybody split around, spread it around. And that's, they established all the tribes, so we have a common ancestor that also, inspired, ancient Greek civilizations and architecture and stuff like that. It's just, as history goes on, we lose information and, we think ourselves different from everybody else. But as most of the world knows, we found, America, the New World, in the 1500s. 1500s. But the thing is, we didn't even discover it. There was people already here. People I'm going to see, party with. Choctaw people, the Cherokee, the Seminoles, the, millions of people that were already here. And the colonizers, driven by ambition and gold and wealth, were just blind to the fact that these, were people too. And, the story, slaughtered, the Trail of Tears, all that good stuff, bad stuff, happened. But I think most people forget that love is what connects everybody. So you have some people that are enemies, right? You have a white person, white family, white civilization, whatever, get mad at, a darker skinned, Indian looking Native American people. But there was obviously lovers, that connected these two, groups of people who, mixed together, and you have, people like me, people all over the place who are just mixed genes, mixed DNA, everybody basically, so racism is just, it's tedious, man, it's stupid. It's not really a race, it's just, how much DNA you have that reflects in the color of your skin, right? If I just had European DNA, I wouldn't be able to tan well. I just burn to a crisp like, the gingers who just have, more northern, Irish, Scottish, that area of DNA. So DNA quite literally connects all of us, because our ancestors, a lot of them fought against each other, but both sides being the ancestors, you get the tree, the generation tree comes down and connects in the future. So, say, the Muslims, fighting, all the religions, right? There's gonna be lovers that, find ways to bridge these cultures together and ultimately make hate look stupid. because, you know, we're connected. You're hating yourself. So in the future, everything connects. In the past, you know, it's more different. That's why, you know, people dwell on the past. So just look to the future and everything connects. Bring me to the westward expansion. Like I said, driven by ambition. You know, everybody settled here. Just wanted to, you know, see what was out there, even though we already seen it. You know, if we just talked to the people that were already here, you know, we would know. But obviously we didn't, and that led to the Trail of Tears, horrible Trail of Tears, and ultimately the westward expansion. Well, it was actually caused by, I forgot the name of the government policy, but, you know, the government, United States government, basically made a policy where it's like, yo, people, y'all cannot go past the Mississippi River, you know, for whatever reason. They didn't tell. And that's what made the people mad. Like, yo, why can't we go past? Tell me why, you know? And ultimately that, you know, kind of drove people, you know, mad to where, you know, we don't care about these people already here. Let's get them out because I want to see, you know? And just all that hate, that bloodshed is what, all that pain really is what, you know, we have to fall back on as redemption, you know. Forgiveness, forgive the ancestors, forgive everybody, right? Redemption is the only way we can make it right. So, you know, toss out racism, toss out just all the stuff. I mean, it's not needed, man. I mean, it's really not needed. If I was straight European, I would have, you know, curls, right? I would just look like Prince Charming or something, you know. But just, you know, recognize we're all connected. That's really the point of this podcast. But going back to America, it was colonized straight up. Before everybody, you know, you had the Aztecs in Mexico, in North America, and I guess the North American continent, you just had different native tribes just spread throughout, you know. But Mexico, you actually had a strong, you know, city, you know, in the middle of a lake, and then you had, you know, the Mayans, the Incas, built the beautiful Machu Picchu. Still don't know how it was done, but I mean, just neglecting the fact that there wasn't civilized people over here, which, you know, the Europeans, actually everybody who had enemies, right? You know, the Romans called, you know, like the Germanics, you know, barbarians, because they just couldn't understand what they were saying, right? Their language just sounded barbaric, but obviously they weren't barbarians, you know, they just wanted their land back, you know. So I mean, just language, it just seems like it can't connect to us. But I mean, if you learn other languages, you learn, you know, where the etymology comes from, where basically, you know, people's way of life comes from. Bring me back to America, right? Modern America, the way of life, you know, the ritual. Okay, hold on. Native Americans, right? We always, you know, talk about how they had these rituals, right? They weren't rituals. It was just the way they lived, right? They didn't see it as, you know, ritual, something they had to do. It's just the way they live. So if you look at modern America, our rituals, the way we live is not serving us, you know? Really not serving us, you know, junk food, fast food. What kind of ritual is that, you know? This is like a sacrificial ritual that, you know, the Aztecs, you know, you sacrifice a good part of yourself so other people may live. No, sacrifice, you know, not a bad part, you know, but a part that doesn't serve you, so the good part, you know, can flourish out and actually bring redemption to all people. So, bring me back to America, right? Colonized by, you know, the motherland, King George, right? We were told that we rebelled because, you know, taxation without representation. That probably is true, but it's probably not the main reason why everybody revolted. I mean, you know, we could probably work something out with money, right? Taxes, right? So just, you know, look in between the lines and actually, you know, do the research on why we did these things, you know. Because most history tells lies, but the founding fathers, right? You know, they wrote the Constitution that actually still serves us, right? The Bill of Rights still serves us, but we're just not letting it. So we have, like, they have the universal right, life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. Thomas Jefferson got that ideal from John Locke, a philosopher in England. Life, liberty, and might have said God. I forgot what the third one was, but Jefferson changed it because he realized the pursuit of happiness. What makes us happy. Everybody wants to pursue happiness. It's the reason we're all connected, and the reason that all our ancestors killed each other, because they was just trying to be happy when we could just work things out. So the founding fathers spent months, years, writing the Constitution. Actually, first, before the Constitution even came out, we had the Articles of Confederation, which gave so much power to the states, right? We didn't have a centralized government where, there was no middleman. You had, Georgia had armies, Rhode Island had army. Everybody had their military. Everybody, it was more divided, right? But the states were stronger. So it kind of was a United States. Unlike today, it's kind of, the divided states. Nobody knows each other, right? Everybody, just makes fun of each other, really. But they established this, weak central government. So anti-federalists and the federalists basically, you could say like the left and the right. But the people who wanted, the federalists, they wanted a stronger central government, right? They didn't want a Bill of Rights. The anti-federalists, they wanted a Bill of Rights. They wanted the people, to have their universal right, to have, strength. And ultimately, they couldn't work things out, so the Bill of Rights was created, and the Constitution was created. And, the founding fathers, they were, smart men, right? But they still, had slaves. They still had problems, right? And that's what America is today. Our values are right, but we still got to work out our kinks, our problems, and actually honor the Constitution, that the founding fathers, set out for us. Because let's use it, man. Let's use it. Stop using, going back to the ritual. Stop using our phone. Immediately when we wake up in the morning, use your body, man. Connect with your body before your mind starts, swirling around with TikToks and Instagram Reels. Because if you look at America from a tribal perspective, who they valued their bodies, they valued their spirits, they had good morals, that they valued themselves, right? They would look at America and they don't appreciate themselves. They don't appreciate what they have. They taken, these supermarkets for granted, these schools, free education for granted. Yeah, school sucks. I know it, man. Tell me about it. School sucks. But it's better than nothing, because back in the day, we would people didn't even go to school. The people were talking about the ruling class, and the people were so uneducated compared to the noblemen and the ruling class. It was insane. Going back to school and education, how we were talking about in astronomy, right? These Copernicus revolution, right? It's basically, and when we found out that the solar system isn't the universe, right? The Earth isn't the center of it all either. It's the sun, right? But majority of the world wasn't even a part of this revolution. Just a sliver of the scientists and the people that actually cared, right? So most of the world didn't, even realize they were in a revolution, just like we were in now. The age of enlightenment. Most don't even realize we're in an age of enlightenment. We're in, an age of redemption, revolution. Nobody realizes that. And that's why education is so important, and mental strength along with it. Because, if you look at, the American system, right? I already talked about John D. Rockefeller, man. He basically said, I'll quote him too. He said, "I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers." Right? He established the monopolies. He made a loophole with the trust funds and all this, so he could actually have a nation of workers, which is what we have now, right? So he established, this education system where you have the bells, just almost like we treated like, cattle, man. Like, all right, go graze now, lunchtime, all right, you're done, all right, back to gym or whatever, right? And we didn't even always have gym, gym should be more valued. Your body, exercise should be more valued. And then maybe we'll have mental strength to actually see, the bull crap we're fed. But anyway, back to John D. Rockefeller. He established a lot of this. Him and his rich friends, they established, this crappy education system where we're treated like workers. I mean, when we're so much more than that, we're thinkers, man. How many, like, you get 20 people, how many can actually freely use their mind? How many can actually focus on a book, without losing their train of thought? How many can actually have a conversation with the stranger, man? People don't know how to conversate with strangers. People, like, I'll be walking down, wherever I am, right? Say hello, they just grunt, oh, good morning, like their mouth isn't even used to be talking, their tongue isn't even fluent in the words that they think. It's just, nobody knows how to use their body, basically what I'm trying to say. And, as I do roam to the Choctaw Nation, right? Not Oklahoma, man, it's the Choctaw Nation. We stole that land. But, and that's the first episode, that exclusive episode, Will It the Land. The land, it has a will, man. Talk about traditions and the Native Americans, right? They saw the land. I see almost every indigenous tribe, right? You got the Aborigines, Australia, who eventually spread up. First Nation Australians who eventually spread up, established tribes in Indonesia, ultimately all the way up in northern Asia, Japan, all the way. But that, thousands of years, right? But they saw the land as, like a family member, as a brother, sister, somebody that takes care of them. You thank the land, when you go hunting, you thank the land when you find the berries, right? What is America thanking, man? We're not thanking anything. Nobody's grateful, right? And even for the phones, right? I can record this video and send it out to the internet. Anybody in the world that looks up roaming around, this happened, or Rom'n, whatever, right? Look at my title, they'll find this video that I recorded in a car. Don't take things for granted, be grateful for what we have, all right? Because most, tribes and people back in the day, they were grateful for the land, they were grateful for the government. And our government, we should be grateful for the foundation that it has, right? But ultimately our, lack of awareness, right? And, the rich people, they found it because, they were ambitious, right? They saw that this foundation could create anything we so desire in this land of America, right? So they created a system of greed, a system of, power-hungry individuals, looking up and like, I'm gonna become the king, when really the king is run by the business, really the economy, right? Going back to the land, and that's the natural, flow of things, the natural nature, a natural ecosystem, right? Economy. You got the economy. You got the businessman basically worship it, right? They slaves to the economy. And the bad thing about the economy is really the stock market, right? That runs the economy. Is a business's success is measured by how much they grow off of last season, right? It's not overall growth, it's, incremental growth. So that quite literally drives people to be greedy. And it's not even, most of the time, it's not even their fault. It's the system that we established that, drives people to be hungry for money, drives people, to establish business empires and, all that jazz, because the system that we created. But going back to the Constitution and the Founding Fathers, they made the system where it could be torn down and made again, right? So if the people were more aware of, the opportunities that this Constitution actually provided, we might be in a different spot, right? But ultimately that hasn't happened. So you got to accept where we are now. And the fact that is, the business money, the green money runs almost everything in America, right? I mean, the good food. I mean, talk about Panera Bread, man. I used to love Panera Bread. They had, just good stuff, right? As soon as they became a chain, they started, removing the good food items, getting more just, crappy with their foods. You got bioengineered foods now, GMO, all that, just to run prices down, right? So run costs down and prices up. So basically they're maximizing profit when really our profit should be maximizing how much value we give to an individual, right? Because when I used to pop in Panera, I was a happy kid, right? Now when I pop in Panera, I'll walk straight out. It's not good anymore. Same thing with Moe's. Same thing with, many businesses. They just went to crap as soon as they became big. Because when you become like big in this, corporation that we call our government, you're driven mad. You're driven mad for money. And that is why people are suffering. That's why we don't even take anything for granted, because deep down we know it could be better. So, short podcast, I'm gonna end it here. I'll leave y'all with one quote from a fictional friend, Miyagi from Karate Kid, and he said, "There is no such thing as a bad student."